Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all having a great day. And let me just cut to the chase here. So ever since I made this video, the Giancarlo Stanton trade was a mistake. Long story short, he's been tearing the absolute cover off the ball. Let me just read you his stats. So I made that video on the 19th of April, and since then, he's hitting .377 with 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, and has a .215 weighted runs created plus. And promptly, this has led everybody to, of course, blow up my mentions, tagging Old Takes Exposed, saying to me, oh, do you regret that video? Oh, you must feel like an absolute idiot after posting that. Well, here's the thing. If you watch the video, you would know that I did not criticize Stanton, the player. Before anything, I am a big Giancarlo Stanton supporter, and this isn't bashing him, the player, at all. When on the field, Stanton is an absolute superstar. In fact, I had been Stanton's biggest supporter, or at least one of his biggest supporters ever since he came over here. The dude is an absolute superstar on the field, and I thought I made that pretty clear in the previous video, but apparently not clear enough, because bottom line, when Stanton's in the Yankees lineup, the Yankees are a much better team. And I was pretty frustrated at the time of that recording. I hope I didn't put blame on Stanton for the Yankees' struggling start. Everybody wasn't hitting. Besides Aaron Judge, really nobody was hitting to begin the season. But you guys are gonna be shocked by this because, everybody's tagging Old Takes Exposed on me. I stand by what I said, and just for that reason. I wasn't criticizing Stanton, the player. I know he's that good. And I can't say this enough. Anybody, and I mean anybody, would have taken the Giancarlo Stanton deal back in 2017. He literally fell into our lap. It made total sense. Dude was coming off an NL MVP. But here's the thing, and maybe this is what I should have emphasized more so when calling the trade a mistake. Here's why it's a mistake, and here's why it would be a mistake going forward. The Yankees should not have traded for Giancarlo Stanton if it was going to financially handcuff them the entire duration of his contract. And that's what, besides signing Garrett Cole at $326 million, I know it's kind of like, oh, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how is the play, as Michael K says? It's a pretty big signing, obviously. But the Stanton contract, it seems that it has prevented us from signing other players, and it's prevented us from, say, making trades at the deadline. Say, for this year, for example, there's a good chance we may need a bat, we may need an outfielder. I mean, the starting pitching's been great lately. We're probably going to need a starter, or at least some pitching help come this July. We probably only got about $3 to $4 million to spend because the Yankees are refusing to go over the luxury tax. And that's where the Stanton trade comes into play. Why take on this guy that's a very good player, but at this point has been regulated to just a DH for $25 million a year if it's going to prevent you from going over the luxury tax in a year where this window is honestly on its way to closing now. It's not there just yet. Judge is going to be around. Gleyber Torres hopefully is going to be around. But I mean, the era of the baby bombers, we got to win a World Series, and we haven't yet. I've detailed this a lot about my frustrations with this core, as everybody kind of has on social media. But I mean, that's a point. If you're going to get Giancarlo Stanton, a guy that a $300 million contract, you're only paying like $260 of it with what the Marlins giving, but still, $25 million a year for this guy, and he's worth that. He's a superstar. But if you're going to let that financially handcuff you, then the trade was a mistake. And from what we've seen and what I'm afraid we will see this coming deadline, I honestly think the Stanton trade, it will go down as a mistake if that's what they end up doing. Now, if they win the World Series, it's different. That ends conversation immediately. If they win a World Series with Stanton, which I still think they will, that ends the conversation. But take this deadline, for example, Max Scherzer. I don't think I really have to argue that he's a piece that could put us over the top. But what's going to stop that? His $31 million a year salary. And I hate when people say, oh, if George were alive. But to be honest, that's kind of a conversation, oh, if George were alive, because there's a very good chance the luxury tax is our only roadblock to a World Series championship, and that starts with bringing on Giancarlo Stanton and being afraid to spend more money to, supplement his talent and supplement the rest of the Yankees' talent with other better players. So that's my point. Just to reiterate one more time, the Giancarlo Stanton trade is not a mistake, or will not be a mistake because of him, the player. He's an absolute superstar. If he wasn't a DH, there's a good chance he's on his way to an MVP award this season. It all has to do with if the Yankees let that Stanton trade financially handcuff them the rest of the way and let the luxury tax prevent them from winning a World Series. That'll not only be, a misplay of duty, it will be an absolute embarrassment on this organization, and George will be rolling in his grave. That's all I got to say for this video. It's like the first time ever I've done a part 2 to a video. At least I think so. But anyways, so final things. Use code MOYHR on SeatGeek. That's right, the SeatGeek code is back. If you want to get $20 off your first purchase, that's code NYYHR. Also, go and follow me on Instagram at Yankees Avenue and at Dan Allen Rourke. That's my personal, and you can find me on Twitter at Dan Allen Rourke as well. Hope you guys are all doing well. Things have turned around for the Yankees, largely helped by Giancarlo Stanton, but the last 2 weeks have been good. We're still not clicking that great offensively, but the record is there. We've won 3 straight series. We're 7-2 in our this past homestand in the last 9 games. So I guess things are trending up, That's all I got to say for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night.